Our speaker for this session is an assistant instructor from the Ateneo de Manila Department of Information Systems and Computer Science. Their topic would be about authoring redesigned e-learning lessons. Please give it up for Mr. Paolo Antonio Gonzalez. We will be having Q&A session for any of your questions later. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm just gonna share my screen. So, hello again, good afternoon. My name is Paolo Antonio Gutierrez Gonzalez. My students usually call me Sir Pagigi. So, those are the initials of my name. So, this afternoon, I have 30 minutes, 15 minutes to talk about how my experience of redesigning my lessons for e-learning. This is I think quite unique to me. I haven't seen anyone else do something like this. So hopefully this is also something that you can do in your own classes. So when we say authoring, you're using a program to be able to help you to create like a website or a program that you can deploy on your Canvas. Okay, so, and this is something that I'm showing you right now. This is not, these are slides embedded right now, but this entire website is created in a program, which I'll show to you later. So, just a little bit of an intro. So, just going down to the slides. I don't create pre-recorded videos. I do not like to do that, and I'll explain a little bit later why. And then after that, I'll try to explain what my alternative for pre-recorded videos are. And then I'll give you time to ask your questions. So, like everyone else, when this whole online learning, this transition to online learning started, my first thought was, okay, this is going to be difficult. How can I make this transition easier? So of course, first thought would be, well, I already have a lot of lectures prepared on PowerPoint. So easiest thing would be maybe I just use the record slideshow feature. I record video and audio over my slides. And then that's what I send to my students. And then I give them quizzes, things like that. So, and because my class is a little bit more technical, I handle computers, IT, multimedia. I do a lot of screenshots. So that's where my first problem came in. Well, before that, please react with like a thumbs up if this was your first thought when you encountered, you know, the transition, when you thought, oh, I can just turn my PowerPoints into pre-recorded videos. So I guess, well, no one has reacted with there. At least some of you have thought of that, right? So it would have been easy to just turn your PowerPoints into video. But for me, the experience was very difficult. So I would have to create a script. I would have to prepare equipment, buy equipment, record, do several takes, edit. Then I would nitpick, like, did I say this word correctly? Sometimes while editing, I would re-record because I don't want to, I didn't like that take. Then I export or render my PowerPoint into a video, and then I upload. I found that to be so time-consuming and so much effort. If this is also something that happened to you, maybe you can also react with this emoji. Okay, so it's very difficult. You sometimes even the script you write, you're not able to follow it, and it's so hard because you're looking down at your notes. You're not really looking at your students through the webcam. So for me, it really became like a struggle. So the amount of time and the effort that it took to pre-record my videos was my main reason. But I have other reasons. And pretty much this is like the end of my, like, the slides themselves. I'm going to show you some of the content that I make using the program that I use. Okay? So I've had to look at my content and to find ways to turn them into like questions and games. For instance, like this, I have several word games. So for instance, maybe someone in the chat can help me out here. Okay. So I have a game of hangman. So for instance, when I do like definitions of specific terms, I'll do a game like this. So if you can help me out, I have 3 words. The definition is there. So hangman is, of course, when you choose letters, and if you choose the wrong letter, it starts drawing a person that's going to be hanged, a stick figure that's going to be hanged. If you choose the right letters, then it'll actually complete the word in the blanks. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 letters for the first word. Can anyone help me? Can you pick a letter? You can just type it in the chat. Okay, so someone said letter B. And so that's the wrong letter. Next letter, please. F. Okay, someone said F and then R. Okay, wait, R. And then E. And then A. So far, you have 3 letters in the word. Someone said T. So letter T. And so someone already figured it out. It's fatigue. All right. So I have my definition to help out the students. And these letters, so by process of elimination, you can get the word. Okay. So my next word. So one reason why I don't want to always record my videos is I don't want them to just be exposed to me. I want my students to hear other sources, not just me as their teacher. So there are lots of other experts there. I don't want them to get tired because I will record the video and then I will meet them in class. So it's very saturated. It's all me all the time. And some of my classes are like 2 hours long, especially my lab classes. So my next reason, okay, the ability of a computer to respond to a user's input. Again, can anyone help me? I'll use that first. So there's an N and there's an E. Okay. Any other letters? I and S. Letter T. You're almost there. So a few more letters. Letter C. So very close. Y and A. Okay, so someone got it already. Interactivity. Okay? So because I'm able to use a program and it basically generates a website which I upload. So I upload this to Canvas. I make it part of Canvas. So I put these games, these different activities on Canvas so that my students can, it's not just them reading or listening to me, they're actually interacting with the content. So last word. So the application of elements such as point scoring, competition with others, or rules of play to other areas of activity, typically as an online marketing technique to encourage engagement with a product or service. Anyone? I think, letter T. Oh, someone said, okay, so it's gamification. So thank you. Okay, gamification. And the nice thing about this is, since it's a lesson, they can keep taking it. Sometimes I'll put like feedback at the end of it so that they can learn something additional. They have to go through this to get to the lesson that I have for them in the end. So since I have a little bit short amount of time, I'll do some of the other ones. So I have other things, like if I only have one main point, one sentence worth, I can do like, so someone is asking, sorry for the ignorance, but are there set games in Canvas already, or do you have to formulate them? So here, what I'm using is a program, and this program exports something that I can put into Canvas. I think Canvas already has, our Canvas already has like EdPuzzle. So yeah, I'm using a program or an app to do this, and it's available on Windows, on Mac, on Linux. Okay, so if the only tool you have is a hammer, you tend to see every problem as a nail, and then you check it. So there. And I can actually add some feedback at the end. For instance, this one, so I'll do this. Okay, so there's observe the letters and fill in. It's an entire sentence. Okay, and I have to type it in. So it's a popular quote which is sometimes attributed to Benjamin Franklin, discussing an influential approach to education. And there's a time limit. But the students here, so again, it's like gamification. They have 3 lives to answer this. Okay, so it's tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn, period. So there, you get the full points. And then I have, again, my feedback or my additional piece of information at the end. So these are just word games, but I also have, for instance, like interactive videos. So, and the way I use it is I try to look for like experts. So it's not just me talking. So I look for a lot of TED Ed videos, and my videos at some point. So if you look at this, at around 1 minute, there's a question that will appear. So around 1 minute and 20 seconds, it will ask, so who was the first to study imposter syndrome? It was already discussed in the video. So yeah, someone mentioned in Moodle you can use H5P, okay, and you can embed in the module. There are lots of different tools that you can use. I think actually H5P is also available in Canvas, but we need to ask our admin to have it installed. So there's a plug-in for Canvas, but they need to install it in Canvas to be able to use the H5P modules. There's a free way to do it, but there's very limited space. Okay. I have 2 kinds of interactive video. One is where I have the full video, and the other one is one where I can actually just use clips. So I have a short part of a video, for instance, like this one.
I believe we have a system of education that is modeled on the interests of industrialism. And in the image of it, examples, schools are still pretty much ringing bells, separate facilities, specialized into separate subjects.
Dr. Rojas is asking, am I using EdPuzzle? No, this is actually, again, a different tool. It's called ExElearning. It's a free tool that you can download. EdPuzzle is, I think we have a trial account in Ateneo. I'm not sure. But this one can simulate some of the features of EdPuzzle without having to need an EdPuzzle account. So this is a program that I'm using. So in the end, after I've completed all of my different content, I can export it to what's known as SCORM. So SCORM is short for Shareable Content Object Reference Model. It's, if you think about it, it's a website that's encapsulated in a zip file, which you can upload to your LMS. So whether it's Canvas, it works in Canvas, in Moodle, and so far I think in Schoology. And how do you get SCORM working in your Canvas? Because by default, it's turned off. First, you need to request from the LS Canvas admin to enable the SCORM features on your account. And then for each of your courses, you have to turn it on in the navigation. And Canvas accepts a specific format of SCORM. My tool is able to export in this format. So ExElearning. So I'll show you ExElearning. Hopefully I still have time. I'll save this. Okay, so this is ExElearning, and this is where I author. Okay, this is the, you can download this for free. They just updated the program. And let's say you want like an interact. So these are the different kinds of content that you can put in. So whether it's just simple text, okay, or an interactive video. One of the most flexible things here is the multiple choice quiz. Okay, most flexible kinds of content. So you can put in text or a video or an image. So, and then you can ask your question here. So these are lots of questions that I've asked before. And the answer can be like several items in the multiple choice question, or one item, or you can have only two items, whether, let's say, you want true or false only. Another one is you can reorder text. Again, similar to what I did before. You just say the order is, for instance, A, D, B, C. So that's the proper order. Or again, like where you're searching for a particular word or phrase. But why I like this so much, why I think it's so flexible, if you go to the options, there's this option where, so the default is you go through the questions one by one. Then there's the random where questions are given to your students in a different order. But here, what's the website? So Dr. Rojas is asking. So exelearning.net. Yes, that's the website. Okay. But there's also an option for a tree. What does the tree do? What happens is if they answer in a particular way, it can lead them to a different question. Okay, so let's say they make a mistake. It can lead them to another question where hopefully it can help them to correct to figure out that their initial answer was wrong. Okay, and then they can take the quiz again, or the multiple choice quiz again, so that they can get everything right. So this really isn't like a summative assessment. It's a formative one where people can just keep taking it until they learn the material. So by the end of it, pretty much they get perfect for the lesson. So you have to have an additional like other assessment for them so you can grade them. So that's pretty much it. This is the tool that I'm using, but there are others. Again, H5P. There's also, I'm gonna type it in the chat. You might want to explore it if you're very technical. This one, CERTI online toolkit. It's from the University of Nottingham. The modules that they, or the lessons that they export, are better looking. There are a lot more options, but it's very difficult to install if you're not very technical. Okay? This one you just download and install on your computer, and this is why this is the one I'm showing. You download it and install on your computer, and you just add your different modules or different types of content in your lessons. So you add pages, you add these different kinds of content. So
Thank you for sharing that, Sir Paolo. We're formally opening the Q&A segment of our session now. So if you have any questions, you may type them in the chat box or unmute yourselves to ask directly to Sir Paolo. Any questions regarding, one from April, do you also use the games during synchronous sessions?
this is really mostly for asynchronous. If I want to do a game during synchronous lessons, what I use is Blocket. I'll type that in the chat as well. It's similar to Kahoot, but I find that it gives them better motivation. Sometimes when you play Kahoot, it's only the people who are leading who really enjoy it. I'd suggest try Blocket. There's a great element of randomness to it.
Sir Paolo, could you
Yes.
show us like the format of Blocket just to see
Oh.
like how similar or different it is from Kahoot?
So I'll try to, let's see, can I log in? So what happens in Blocket is, sorry, I need to log in.
Thank you, time po, sir.
So it's very similar to Kahoot. Logging in. So let's say Toffler's Waves. So I edit this. So there's the questions. Okay, it's all multiple choice questions. But what differentiates this from Kahoot is, let's say I will save the set and I will host a game. Okay. There are mini games. Gaano katagal yung approval ng Canvas? Pretty much, I asked in the morning, nung hapon meron na akong naka-on na yung SCORM sa account ko. So kung hindi lang po siguro busy yung admin natin. So how is it different? So this one, the Gold Quest game. What happens is, the element of randomness happens is, pag nasagot, when they answer the question, they can pick from 3 chests. The chests can be positive, you get gold; negative, you lose gold; or something that's totally random. So whether you get someone else's gold, or you switch the amount of gold with another person, or you lose 50% of your gold, or you gain triple your gold. So ganun yung it's like Kahoot. Unahan sila they answer as quickly as they can, but the randomness comes in when they pick a chest. There are other games like Cafe. what you gain is like ingredients, and you earn more money by serving different kinds of dishes. There. Hopefully you can read the descriptions on the side. No. Someone is asking, do we need to have SCORM first before being able to download the app? No. You can already download the app and make your content. The SCORM is necessary so that when you upload the content to Canvas, it will actually automatically score your students when they complete the lesson. So if you want to turn your lesson into a graded, so let's say you give it 10 points if they complete the lesson. Once they finish all of the questions, they go through all of the pages, it gets saved. The 10 points get saved into Canvas. The only caveat is they have to go through it in one go, from start to finish in one go. Otherwise, Canvas will forget to save the score. How do I select? So I go back to how do I select which type of content to convert to games? It's also always based on what is my learning outcome. What are my learning outcomes for the lesson, or this particular lesson? So for instance, if I want them to for instance, read, there's only one sentence, then I'll do something like this. I'll turn it into like a scrambled list. Or if I want, like, there's a payoff, a piece of feedback at the end, usually I'll create like a word guessing quiz, and then by the end of it, there's again a message that they get at the end. It really depends on what I think is my learning outcome. Some of them I just show as text if it's not super important. But a lot of it, if I think there's an important point, because what I'm hoping is by engaging them, by making them think, not just read the content, it sticks more. They retain the information more. They understand it better.
Any last questions to Sir Paolo before we wrap up? Well, if there's none, we invite you to share your thoughts or your questions through gbseal.online/share. I will be posting the link in the chat in case you have any follow-up thoughts or questions regarding Sir Paulo's presentation. And thank you, Sir Paolo, for that wonderful session.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, we are running out of time, though. As I've said, you can put your thoughts in the gbseal.online/share. And our next session is actually canceled, so you may stay for a few minutes, or you may now move to your next session. The Zoom links should be available in the email we sent with the customized schedule. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the day.
I'm gonna answer lang one question I saw in the chat.
Oh, okay, sir.
Total, wala namang susunod sa akin eh. Si Miss April
Yes,
asked
sir.
if you can share it on Microsoft Teams. The nice thing about it is you can export it. So you can export it as a zip file. So if you can send zip files over Microsoft Teams, you can send it to your individual students. I forgot to mention that if you want like a PLP, you can this can be like a PLP. you export it to a zip file, they get it. They get all of the content already. The only problem is if you want it to automatically score them, it doesn't get saved into Canvas. They have to show you proof that these are my answers. The program saw that they were all correct. So they'll show you screenshots. Hopefully Miss April is still there. Thank you.